Today we're going to see if an Adobe Premiere user can learn to use Final Cut on their own all in one day. Now, how did we get here? Well, recently I was on a webinar hosted by Boris FX with Steve Martin from Ripple Training, and he and I were making a lot of bold claims about Final Cut, like this.
There's nothing you can't do with it, is what I'm saying. There's really, I can't think of anything that you can't do that limits you with this app.
And then this.
Everything's in there. It's just tucked away so nicely. You know, it's almost like IKEA designed the interface. It's like got storage for everything, but you have to open the cabinets to find it.
And then Steve said,
Jen, I think you should do a video where you take a couple of people that maybe know Premiere a little bit or Final Cut, and you sit them down and just do a show like, okay, how fast can I teach them on this versus this? And then just give them enough information and see what they can create.
And so I thought, how am I going to pull this together? I need to find an Adobe Premiere user who is brave enough to be my guinea pig. And today I have found one, my friend, Jessica Savidge. Jessica, welcome to my channel. Are you ready for this challenge? It's a little scary.
I am so ready. I'm a little terrified, I have to admit. It's a little nerve-wracking, but I'm excited.
Tell me a little bit about how you use Premiere and the kind of projects you edit.
So I jumped into using Premiere exclusively probably around 2010. And most of my work now centers on documentary style video work, storytelling. I do some corporate work. And then I have my own YouTube channel, and I manage YouTube channels for a few other clients.
And you guys, I'm going to drop links to Jessica's YouTube channel and her creative agency down below if you want to check out her YouTube channel or you need her creative services, or if you just know like a nice single guy that you think she might really like. Just kidding. I'll cut that out. I'll cut that out. Definitely not cutting that out. We're going to challenge you today to try to recreate this video. I'm going to throw it up right now. It's something you created in Adobe Premiere, and we're going to see if you can replicate this video in Final Cut in one day without Googling or YouTubing anything. Because some of the things that we always talk about is that Final Cut is so intuitive. And so is it really that intuitive? You're going to be the test. So what I'm going to do is, before we get off right now, I'm going to give you 3 big hints, things I think you really need to know about Final Cut. And then
I'm going to take notes.
Yeah, take notes. Get your pen ready. And then you are going to have 3 phone a friends today where you can FaceTime me if you really get stuck. And then at the end, we're going to meet back here. We're going to see what your final thoughts were on Final Cut. My expectation isn't that you're going to like totally ditch Premiere and that you're going to be a complete convert, but maybe. Are you open to that idea?
I am open to it, but we'll see. Today is like that toe in the water.
All right, so are you ready? I'm going to give you the 3 big tips that I think you really need to know.
I'm ready. I'm writing them down.
The first one is about terminology. So the first thing to know is that your project, your whole project, is actually called a library in Final Cut. The next thing to know is that your folders, where you have all your media and all your different elements, are called events, not folders. And the last thing to know is that your timelines are called projects. The second thing I want to talk to you about is the timeline. The timeline is what's called magnetic. So when you drop a shot on the timeline and then you drop one more next to it, that second shot is going to snap to the left and connect with the first shot. And the third thing I think you really need to know is that when you open Final Cut, it's going to look so different from Premiere because all of your tools and buttons are hidden away.
Okay. This is very helpful. I'm grateful for the tips. Don't go far if I need my phone a friend. Don't go far.
I'm nervous too because I talk up Final Cut so much, and if this is a colossal failure, we're both going to have egg on our faces, but I'm here to help you. You've got those 3 phone a friends. I know you're going to be checking in throughout the day so we can see your progress, and I'm super excited, and I wish you best of luck.
May the odds be ever in my favor.
There you go. All right, Jessica, good luck. We'll see you in a little bit.
Sounds good. So here we go. I definitely am feeling a little bit apprehensive, a little nervous. I think my strategy here in the beginning is going to be to first familiarize myself with the interface, import media, set up a timeline, which thanks to Jenn's tip means something different. Set up a project, and kind of get a feel for where I need to go.
She found the import button really fast. I think we're off to a good start.
So far, okay. It definitely does feel a little alien. And so now I'm going to see if I can get some audio and video synced up and make a little progress with an actual edit. Fingers crossed.
Okay, she does seem to be struggling trying to figure out how to synchronize her video clips and her audio clips. She did tell me later that she was looking for some like fancy creative term for it, and she felt really stupid when she discovered the term is just synchronized clips. There you go, Jessica, you found it.
Okay, I figured out how to sync clips. Whew, it was actually super, super easy. I just wasn't looking in the right place. It seems like in Final Cut, you do some of your trimming in the, I don't even know what you would call that, source window in the library, in the folder, or the event
browser,
which that's a little bit odd to me. It's going to take a minute to get used to, but now that I understand that you can do that there, but you can also do it on the project line, the timeline, I think I got it. So I'm feeling pretty good. We're going to get through this. Progress. Okay, I'm running into my first real roadblock. It's, I think, probably something super simple, but in poking around, I just can't figure it out. So I'm going to use my first phone a friend. Help.
Okay, what's going on?
So this is probably a very, very basic question. So hence the early phone a friend. But what I'm trying to figure out is how to separate out my audio from my videos.
Show me your screen and show me specifically what you're just trying to mute audio on a clip, or?
I mean, yeah, muting audio would work. Hold on, I'm going to switch this around so I can show you. I want to separate these so they're so I can like just get rid of this and or mute this.
So it looks like you've expanded your audio a little bit, right?
I did, yes. That was one of the things when I was clicking around. I forget where I went, but I clicked expand audio. I think it was up here. Expand audio components. Yeah.
All right, right click.
Oh, look at that. Detach audio.
Oh, yeah, you can do that. You can detach audio if you're sure that you never want to put it back.
Detach.
Now you can click the audio clip track in the timeline and just delete it. Just select it and hit the delete button.
Oh. So, I see. I could disable it too. I see.
Yeah. There's a lot of different ways to do it in Final Cut. It seems like you're on your way. I have to say, I feel good.
All right. Wish me luck.
All right. Good luck. I'll talk to you again. I'm here.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. I almost had a heart attack when she detached the audio in that moment. There's so many different ways to accomplish what she was trying to get to in Final Cut, and then like detach audio is the last move that I would make, but she seems so proud of herself that I just didn't have the heart to tell her to undo that and do it a different way, because I'm such a supportive friend.
Okay, made some pretty good progress. I've got my A-roll down. I've got my music track in. I've got my markers where I want to be hitting that beat. So the next challenge for me really is going to be figuring out how to play with clip speed, because I have some footage that I shot in 120, so I could have some slow motion. So in Premiere, I would be doing this with speed duration and just slowing down that percentage of playback. I'm imagining it's something similar here, but I have no idea. I don't know. So let's play with some slow motion.
Watching this back, she does really seem to be struggling to figure out how to retime her clips, and she finally finds it up in the top menu, which is like the last place I would go to retime my clips. I did tell her to click all the buttons around the UI, and I don't think she did that, because she would have found that retime button right at the bottom of the viewer. So I don't think she listened to my tips that well, but that's okay. She got the job done.
I've used one phone a friend so far, just one. And I am cautiously optimistic that maybe I'll only need one more.
Spoiler alert, that's not what happens.
Okay, I'm calling in my second phone a friend.
All right. All right.
And Jen, I gotta tell you, I'm just about done with this project. But I have a couple of hang-ups, and one of them is color corrections. Where is my white balance? Where is my tint? Where is my individual sliders for all of those different, like, clarity, vibrance, whites, blacks, shadows, highlights,
Okay.
etc.
So there's a couple different ways to do it. So right now you're on the color board. Did you click over the tabs for saturation and exposure?
Yes. So like for this one, this definitely, like, exposure needs to come up on this one. So do I just click, like the global? So is that, okay.
That's going to do everything. If you want to brighten the shadows, you should grab the shadows puck, they call it. That's the puck. And that's going to individually control. But if you're looking for more control, do you see where it says color board and it's checked?
Yes.
Hit that drop down. And then go to the one that says color wheels.
Okay.
And now scroll down in there. And there you've got a few more controls.
Okay, yeah. All right, yep. I
And
like
then
that.
if you want to get really nitty gritty, look at like the curves, the other drop downs besides color wheels. And that's where you can get really funky with some things.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So this part is very, very different from the Adobe world, but I'm still able to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish.
Good.
All right. Go eat some dinner or something. Have a good evening. I'll bother you in a little bit.
Bye. Good luck.
Bye. So I'm working on titles now, and I'm pretty excited because they're actually pretty easy. What I'm surprised at are how many of the built-in templates are awesome. So I chose one that I actually really like, and I was getting a little frustrated thinking that I couldn't customize it, and just found the place where I can go in there and screw around with the fonts and the size. So I'm pretty excited about this.
What's so funny about listening to Jessica talk about the pre-built text templates is that I haven't used probably hardly any of those text templates in 100 years. They're so like, I don't love them. And as Steve says,
the plugin universe for Final Cut is just, next to Premiere, it just dwarfs everything. I mean, there's thousands of plugins out there now.
So it's just funny to watch somebody be really excited about those text templates in Final Cut because Final Cut hasn't updated those in ages.
Okay. Final phone a friend.
This is it, girl. Make it good.
So I actually figured out the installed titles, like all the presets.
Right.
That I have to say, like, this, to my knowledge, definitely has an edge over Premiere.
Interesting.
And I think I need to know how to just do a basic, like, how do I type something on screen that is not a pre-installed title?
Oh, okay. So you can got it. That makes so much sense. You can search in the titles sidebar where you're finding all the titles for what's called a basic title, or the shortcut is to just be clicked into your timeline, your project, and hit Control T.
Control T. Sorry, I'm doing this with my phone in my hand. Oh, look at that. Basic title.
And then you can just click in the inspector. You can click in the canvas, however you want to do it.
Okay, so then if I wanted to do an additional one, can I hit Control T again?
Yeah.
Look at that. All right, I'm going to wrap up my little graphics here. Hopefully that goes well, and just tweak a couple things, and then let's debrief on...
Let's debrief tomorrow morning, because that'll be a full 24-hour loop, one day.
Perfect. All right, sounds good. I'll see you then.
All right. Good luck.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, we're back with Jessica Savidge. It's been 24 hours. And Jessica, I'm dying to hear how it went. How did it go?
It went well. I think the thing that stood out to me the most was that in 5 hours, I was able to go from never having opened the program to having a finished deliverable that I could hand to a client.
Well, let's throw up a side-by-side right now of the two different versions you did. The first one will be in Premiere, the second one will be in Final Cut. Tell me, did you find anything that you preferred about Final Cut or anything that you really missed about Premiere?
So one of the biggest differences I found between Final Cut and Premiere is the use of that browser window versus things that you would do on the timeline or the project window across the bottom. So in Premiere, I tend to edit absolutely everything on the timeline. I do my audio sync on the timeline. I do all my trimming and cutting on the timeline.
Yeah, I used to edit the way you probably did, where I would section anything out I liked and then put it toward the end of the timeline and then bring things to the front of the timeline. I don't know if that's how you edit as you find things, but you really spend a lot more time in that browser window when you're working in Final Cut Pro.
Yeah, big difference. An interface, like, it's slick, it looks good. It's very, it's not intimidating. I think Premiere is actually very intimidating to a lot of people, especially if you're new to it. And Final Cut was not intimidating.
That's the thing that we were talking about on that webinar. It's deceptively simple, and people feel like it's maybe not professional because you don't see all the buttons, but in fact, it's just cleanly designed and everything's there.
And I will say the thing I liked the most about Final Cut versus my experience in Premiere was the sheer multitude of different graphics and transitions that were available and felt just like a little hipper and newer. If somebody has never edited before and they're getting into digital editing, I think Final Cut might actually be an easier entry than Premiere, and you absolutely get to the same place.
So let me ask you the big question. Do you think you will try Final Cut again?
I do want to get into it again now that I can Google things and I can look up answers to some of the questions I had. I am curious to try it again. I gotta tell you, the thing that I'm most excited about, I want to play around with Final Cut a little more, but it's a little bit like a gateway drug because I am most excited about trying showdown.
All right, well, you know my tutorials are here for you when you're ready. And if you guys, any of you watching, if you are interested in learning motion, I have a course. I have to give it a plug right now, Motion Launchpad. I'll link to that down in the description as well. It really is like a jump start into it.
I want to give you a plug too, because you know the next thing I'm going to do is take your Final Cut Rockstar class.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I do have a Final Cut course. It's a good, like, definitely a jumping off point, and it's not super advanced. It's really for like the level I think most people are editing on, and then once they learn the basics and the fundamentals of Final Cut, there's even more action to get in there. So I just want to thank you for being such a good guinea pig and a good sport. I'm glad that you were able to achieve that edit in just one day on Final Cut, and I know it was really hard not to Google, and I know you really didn't cheat. And so I'm happy to hear that you like Final Cut, that you're curious enough to try even more of it. And I just, want to thank you so much for doing this. It's been great.
My pleasure. I had a blast. You might have tipped the scales for me. We'll see. Let's get further into Final Cut and I'll let you know.
Jessica Savidge, I never thought I'd see the day. Well, listen, everyone, if you are toying with the idea of jumping from Adobe to Final Cut, here's a real life example. I know a lot of the Final Cut fanatics like myself are cheering for Jessica and excited that she's discovered this new platform to see why we all love it so much. You guys, I picked out some other videos I think you might really enjoy. Thanks for hanging out with me and Jessica today. I'll see you again.